Probably.
This is the DMS that's playing.
I have no clue.
Because I pressed it.
All right, so she's
I don't know,
and she's funny.
but I see
Pretty
it.
funny. So let's give a big Westy welcome to Elena McMillan.
Thank you so much. And keep it going for Randy. Great job. Thank you. And thank you for clapping like you know who I am. That's always very
I asked him
welcoming.
if it was
I appreciate
playing.
that. As luck would have it, I actually am a hypnotist. So now that the two of you have acknowledged that you're willing to do it, depending on how the comedy goes, we may just change lanes. First of all, hello, Westies. Wow. 40 years. That's amazing. Are you guys having a good time? Yeah? Very good. Are you guys a little socially lubricated? My comedy is always better when you've had a drink or two. So if anybody needs to go to the bar, I can wait. I love reunions. I love them. They don't even have to be mine. I don't have to have gone to that school. I just love reunions. You know why? Because I want to see that the nerds got rich. I want to see that the mean girls got fat. And then, you know, the kind of awkward sort of misfit types, well, everyone knows they become stand-up comics, so. I noticed there were a couple of them here, maybe Bill. You're a funny guy. Love the picture with the hair. I'm impressed, that's all I'm saying. This is very, very exciting. Very exciting. I'm excited for you. But sometimes reunions like this can be a little bit nerve-wracking, you know, because you want to really look good tonight. More importantly, you want to imply that you always look this good. And so as an outsider looking in, I just want to say, job well done. You guys look amazing. Seriously, give yourselves a round of applause. You guys look fantastic. Seriously. I can't even tell you're wearing Spanx. Can't even tell. Do you guys know what Spanx are? Think like sausage casing, but for women. It just kind of holds everything in place. Anyway, I won't bore you with the logistics of what it's like to be a woman. I have a couple questions. I want to know a little bit more about you guys, if that's okay. So I want to know who here, and the way you can acknowledge it is by applause. It just lets me, you know, I can hear you better than if you just raise your hand. Who here pretty much knew exactly what you wanted to do in life when you graduated and did it? Like, your life, you knew exactly what you wanted to do, and it pretty much predictably turned out that way. Anybody? Those are like the doctors, the lawyers, the recovering alcoholics. Okay? And then how many of you didn't really figure it out, like your passion or your purpose, until maybe a little bit later in life? Yeah, okay, me too. And then how many of you are still smoking pot in a van? And now that it's legal here, how many of you are going to start smoking pot in a van? All right. I want to know also, how many of you have been married? By applause. Okay. And then keep clapping if you've been married twice. Okay. And keep it going if you've been married 3 or more times. All right, the hope is romantic. You know what, I think you're kind of like the expert, you know, with all the research and development. So if you guys have questions, this is the guy to go to. I was married, I got married young. If I had it to do again, I don't think I would do that at 22. But, you know, in our defense, we were very, very much in love. And even at that age, I think you really get to know somebody after 4 months. Seriously, I got married after 4 months. But he needed a green card. And my maiden name was Seaman, so So just kind of seemed like a good idea. It lasted longer than any of us thought, just long enough to burn up my hot years. So that was unfortunate. Yeah, marriage is hard. It is. It is exhausting being right all the time. She knows. Yeah, it's hard, and breakups are hard too. I suppose you could kind of say it's all hard. I think the worst part about ending a relationship is that you didn't know that the last time you had sex was the last time you were going to have sex, right? Because if I had known, I totally would have stayed awake, and I probably would have shaved my legs. But you can't turn back time, can you? Yeah, I have to say, it's terrifying being single after being married for a long time. Are there any single people here? All right. Yeah, clap. Let me know how many kind of get a sense of it. Really, just a few. Okay. Yeah, it's really interesting. So, like for me now, at almost 50, I'm single again. That's the joke. God's joke on me. Yeah, no, terrifying doing it after being married for a long time. And I don't know if that's true for everybody or if that's just my experience. So, like you said, you're single, right?
Yep.
Do you enjoy being single?
Yep.
Wow, what is wrong with you? All right.
We've been saying that for years.
Yeah, well, he's here though, so maybe he's finally ready to figure it out. Maybe we can do a hypnosis session when we're done here. Get to the bottom of it. How about you? Do you like being single? Nah, not so much?
I'm his wife.
Yeah. Oh. Wow, well that's awkward.
I got you.
Yeah, wow. Wait, you're Bill's wife?
Yeah.
No, I was talking about that guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Back there. I'm not hitting on your husband. I mean, not in front of you.
Well, with the hair.
You went to the bathroom.
You're nasty
No,
with the hair.
that's true. I did not. But did you see that head of hair?
Yeah,
Did you guys get married shortly after graduation?
No, I got married when he was bald and didn't know he had that.
Aww, that's so sweet. All right. So you didn't. Go ahead.
Where are we going with this?
Oh, right. We're just acknowledging how you're still so handsome. That's all we're saying.
No, I totally hit on him in high school as I knew him and saw that hair.
I'm serious. All right. Well, you guys are a lovely couple. I promise I won't hit on Bill.
I'm sorry I introduced her as my sister.
He will
You
not.
did introduce her as your sister. Gosh, what's wrong with you guys? You said you're single too? And do you enjoy being single?
I love it.
Do you?
I do.
Wow.
I lived by myself for the first time ever in my life for the last 7 years, and it's amazing.
I do get that part. That part is, I sleep like diagonal in my bed now.
Don't have to worry about snoring.
Yeah.
It's like-
No, that's true. That part's good. You know what? I think I'm just not cut out for being single because I'm one of those people who needs to be liked all the time, like by everybody. Now the difference though is I'm willing to work for it. You know, I'll do my part to be likable. Like this extra few pounds, it's not an accident. It's what I like to call the sweet spot. Because it's that magical place where men still want me and women don't hate me. You know? But I think that like with regard to dating, I'm very sensitive. And I noticed it when I got on a dating site for the first time. This isn't even a joke, this is a real story. I mean, they're all real, but I got on this dating site and I didn't know this, but when you look at somebody's profile, they know who looked at their profile. And I just didn't realize that. So I was kind of like poking around and I accidentally clicked on somebody's picture. It was totally an accident. Not somebody I would ever be interested in. So I back out of it and whatever. Well, so the next morning, I see that he's looked at mine because he saw I looked at his. And he didn't reach out. And I was so relieved and totally offended at the same time. Honestly, I don't think I'm cut out for this. It's very hard. But I did discover, in my experience, what I think the challenge is with dating, and it's that we don't know the rules, right? Like everybody's kind of playing their own game. Like I was on a date nice guy. We're out for sushi. It's going well. And he looks at me and he says, "You are a solid 8." Wow, what do you even say to that? I'm not saying an 8 is bad, you know, it's like a B-. But is it really okay to just quantify somebody to their slightly above satisfactory face? You know, and I had other questions too, you know, is that a Midwestern 8 or a California 8? Because I am totally a Midwestern 9, and I think we both know it. But I couldn't say that because I had to have him like me. So instead, I just kind of smiled and said, "Thanks." And then I slandered him on Facebook, where I got like 127 comments. Could an 8 do that? I don't think so. Actually, this is funny and also true. Rod Smith, former Bronco, I'm sure you guys know who that is. He got one clap. He saw my show, and he sent me a message. And he said, "Hey, funny girl, nice set. I went to school in the Midwest. You're an 8 there too." I swear to God, and just for the record, he's not funny. Like, he's not trying to be funny. I think he thinks that this is like his public service to make sure that I don't go out to the world thinking that I am a Midwestern 9. I thought that was hilarious. I mean, if you think about it, the guy had to he found me on Facebook. It was like he thought about it, and then he had to log in, and then he had to search for me. I mean, that's a lot of steps. I can't always remember to feed my cat. But he did 10 steps to make sure that he set the record straight. Cracks me up. Well, when it comes to dating, at least I'm not one of those women who expects the guy to always pay. I just want to meet somebody who wants to. And I'm not going to take that away from him. No, I'm a giver. Yeah. Listen, I get it. For those of you who are single and guys, it's not fair. I know that the responsibility to pay for things fell on you. It's also not fair that the responsibility of childbirth fell on me. If I had a choice, I would totally pick up the tab over pushing a human out of my body. Twice. That's just me. I think it's interesting too, because then there's that responsibility of looking good, and you know that we have to work harder at it than you guys do, right? I mean, not only is it expensive, which it is, but it's also often painful, right? So waxing and Botox and Spanx. I have 4 minutes of air left right now. And don't even get me started on aging. Okay, too late. So, I used to think that trading youth for wisdom was a fair trade, until I got wise. And now it's just mean. There's really no other way to explain it. It's just mean, it's hard. And again, harder for women, in my experience, than it is for men. I think that for me right now, this is kind of a confusing time. I'm sort of at that weird age, I'm not sure where I fit in, you know? I have this neighbor, he's probably 30, and every time I run into him, I catch him staring at me. And so I'm always left wondering, is he thinking hey, there's my cute neighbor? Or hey, my mom has that shirt. I don't know, it's very hard. I am definitely not cut out to be a cougar. I hate that term. I find it very misleading. I am not that lean. I like to under-promise and over-deliver. But I'm never going to date a younger guy, at least not a significantly younger guy. Mostly just because I don't want to train a puppy. You know? It's actually worse than that. You know what it is? It's more like a service dog. I do all the work, and then they go live with somebody else. I am not that generous. I am, however, quite popular